T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward leg now on ascent. Okay, you sound good. Discovery Houston, negative return. Copy, negative return.
She's got herself a universe gone quickly, for the call of thunder threatens everyone.
Getting cold, you're needing a shoulder. Puff out your chest and be a little bolder. All we do is we buy and hold. There will be shills who wanna steal your thrills. There will be friends who hold till the end. There will be doubt, fear and cloud, but it's all in your head. Those hedges are dead. Panic and fear really are near, but it's not ours to own. We have shown that all we do is buy and hold. Oh, there will be shills who wanna steal your thrills, and there will be friends who hold till the end, and there will be doubt, fear and cloud, but it's all in your head. Those hedges are dead. So when the night's getting colder, you're needing that shoulder, these apes got your back, we got each other. All we do is we buy and hold.
Aw, man. All that for nothing. Wait, we gotta do that over. Hold on. I didn't realize that I had my microphone off. Let's try that again. we got to do that over. You got to have the right intro, right? Here we go. Good morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and APE, where we buy, we hold, and we're screwing those hedges. Screw 'em! That's right. This is where we like to fling poo and eat crayons for breakfast. Rock strong. I can't. Oh man, yeah. Microphone was turned off. That was all my bad. All right. So, what was I saying? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Let me get back into where I was going with the story that I was telling that wasn't being heard. SEV is getting spicy. What's SEV is short exempt volume is getting really super spicy. Last night, I was sitting there on Twitter, kind of scrolling through, and also I come across this like post of SEV, and I'm sitting there going like, is this current or is this like old data? I couldn't, I wasn't like really kind of focusing it, but I just saw the numbers. I was like, holy crap, those are really big numbers. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you can actually pull the data like an hour, maybe 2 hours after market closes. And so I didn't confirm it, but I was just like, dang, if this is accurate, this is huge. I said holy the S word, because it is a lot of volume in short exempt volume. And for those of you who don't know what that means, those are shares. That's basically like a synthetic naked short, right? But in those particular cases, in those specific cases, they have to be found within 35 days. And those directly turn into failure to delivers when they're not. And so when you start seeing in the millions, I always gotta get kind of nutty over 1 million shares, right? That's a big number to me. It wasn't 1 million. Well, I mean, it was slightly under 1 million for AMC, but Ape wasn't 1 million. It wasn't 2 million. It was more than 2 million. It was a lot. I was sitting there going like, holy crap, that's a lot. I pulled it up to verify it last night, and indeed 2.173 million, 2,173,766 shares in short exempt volume. It was a lot, and I don't know. That's gonna hurt them. That's gonna hurt really, really, really bad. Now, the unfortunate thing is that the vote for the proposal and the transaction would occur by the 14th of March, would be longer than 35 days, trading days. So we won't see that really come to fruition unless, of course, the vote's delayed, or the vote's canceled, or the vote is not approved. One of the three. But if the vote does go through, those shares likely wouldn't probably ever have to be found necessarily. So, but these numbers are getting super super spicy, and I know that that adds pressure on the marketplace to have to find shares. It also tells me that the shares are very extremely hard to find. And guess what? Not only that, on top of that, to add to everything, AMC is still on the threshold list. So, yay. So it is time to take a look at the numbers. I'm going to clean my glasses, and I want to go through those numbers with you guys. I think we're looking really good right now. I like what I'm seeing. I hope you like what you're seeing. Hope you guys had a wonderful day yesterday, by the way. That issue I posted. As soon as I got done with the live stream yesterday, I dug into the filing that occurred a little more deeply, and then almost immediately posted on Twitter so that you guys would know that indeed that what my initial thought was is that it looked like they had sold off their entire position to NCMI, and that is absolutely correct. That's what that filing was from last night. So I went ahead and confirmed that, and then immediately posted that up on Twitter. I didn't post it on YouTube or anything. Usually it goes straight to Twitter for posting information. I probably should do it in my Discord as well. Actually, it does show up. By the way, thank you myself. Myself set me up for making sure that my Twitter feed actually posts to the Discord. So if you ever look at the Twitter feed section, you'll see that my posts go directly to that. So if I ever post anything, you'll see it there. For those of you who don't have Twitter, but you do have the Discord, which is really awesome. Saves me a heck of a lot of time. Petro, good morning to you. Good to see you, sir. HSBC not making interest payments. Uh-oh. We got problems, Houston. I saw some rumblings on that the other day, and yeah. So somebody had tweeted out a post of what the 2008 Lehman Brothers filing looked like, and compared it to that HSBC filing, Petro, and they look like exactly the same. HSBC was not on my list of in trouble banks to watch out for, but it's interesting to note. Let's go ahead and take. JP says that's the third time for HSBC. Yeah, might be something going on there. Let's go ahead and take a look at these numbers here. I'm going to take you guys over to the other page, so I'm not going to be able to see what it is you guys are writing, so hold those personal thoughts or comments that are directly for me or questions until after you see the big tramp back up on the screen. Let's go over the numbers. Also, two-factor authentication, if you don't have it, you may want to get it, as it could be something that could prevent somebody from getting into your account that shouldn't be in your account. And while you're at it, make sure when you're setting that up to put in a secondary device in case something should happen to your primary. You won't lock yourself out of your account and you can still have access. I'm also asking people to start taking daily pictures of their portfolio and putting it into a folder someplace just so that they know what their aggregate position is, so that they can, if something should happen with their broker, they can dispute it and say, like, no, I've got a picture here saying otherwise. Strange things happen, you never know, and it's always good to be safe. Better safe than sorry. The other thing that I would suggest too is, if you don't have a very active account, then you could probably get away with taking a picture once a week. But at least having some kind of records would be ideal for your own personal safety. It is your money, it's your choice. But let's take a look at what we got going on here with these numbers. Starting with price prediction tally points. Let's see here. We had I had 812 to 1112. Eric had 819 to 1119. Apex had 825 to 1125. And Einstein had 853 to 1153. The combined closing price of AMC was 680, and Ape was 316 for a combined total of 996, which put me about 34 cents off of being right on target. But nobody missed a point from yesterday, so points around. Again, one last congratulations to Einstein for winning last week. All right. Not meant as financial advice. We're just four apes trying to figure out what the daily price is going to be, and then betting beers or ice cream or whatever on it, and yeah. Short exempt volume. Let's take a look at it. So for AMC, short exempt volume was 925.3. That's pretty massive. 925.3 is already massive, but then when you start looking at Ape and you go like, holy moly, holy smokes, Batman. Ape ended up having 2.173 million. If today's numbers are anywhere close to a million, I'm going to go ahead and count that 2 of 3. So I'll go ahead and put 1 of 3 over here on that one, and then now we just need to start seeing some higher utilization on Ape, which we might end up seeing here real soon if they continue to borrow like they have been. But let's check and see what utilization looks like currently. 100% utilization on AMC. Let me just verify the date. The date is accurate. That is day number 19 of 100% utilization. Ape has 93.75. It is so close. It's so close once again. Oh man, it is so close. 93.75. Jeez, Rick. 93.75. So close to the 95%. All right. Max Payne. We'll see what that changes to. I'm gonna guess. I don't think it's gone up to 650 just yet. I bet $6 is still where it's gonna be. Yep, still showing up at $6. Off exchange. Final numbers for the day are usually like a normal day for us is normally around 64%. Off exchange, and that's between off exchange and EDGX combined. Yesterday we had 51.73 going through off exchange, EDGX at 10.35. Grand total 62.08%. So it's about 2% lower than a normal day. So part of the reason why our price was probably improving was we didn't have price suppression as much as normal. Also CHX volume, and this is closing of positions here. 1.79% of the total daily volume when the 30-day average is 1.37. There was 1.1 million shares in CHX went through that exchange. Very elevated numbers. Taking a look at Ape, 54.22% went through off exchange. EDGX at 9.45 for a grand total 63.67%. Dang near. I mean, it's like 0.33% high, lower than it should be. So yeah, it's dang near exactly where it should have been. CHX volume is not very high. GME's CHX volume, nothing to really make a note home about. CHX volume for HYMC, however, did increase almost threefold. Their normal 30-day average is 0.12% of their daily volume. They had 0.32, and that equated to 14.4 thousand shares. Taking a look at institutional ownership, 136.979 million yesterday, 136.703 today, so slight decrease there. And let's see here. I don't want to see that decrease too much more. We're kind of running the risk of not having enough institutional ownership to help push price. As it stands right now, we're at about 26.45% of the float owned by institutions. You want to have those numbers a little bit higher. I think 30 is ideal. 30 to 70, no, 30 to 60. I think 30 to 60 is probably ideal. So those numbers are getting a little bit low, but I have a feeling they'll probably be buying at some point. I'm not sure exactly when we'll see those buy orders coming through. Often remember these numbers are usually delay reported by almost, I don't know, I want to say about 30 to 60 days. So the buying pressure won't show up for another 2 months, at least showing up as reported. Taking a look at the options, highest amount of short interest, or sorry, highest amount of open interest, not short, but open interest is at a $6 strike for calls with 61.1 thousand contracts. Yesterday, the highest amount was the same amount was 59.9, so it did increase just slightly. Yesterday, highest amount of puts. Open interest was at a $4 strike with 42.8. It's a $4 strike still with 42.4. So there were positions that were closed out. And we've got a close runner-up coming up at $5 here, but market is still suggesting a closing price somewhere between 4 and 6 on AMC by the end of the week. Give me just a minute and we'll go over the rest of the numbers. Alrighty. So our combined price of AMC and APE is currently at $10.10. Do note that at 10:18, I'm kind of noticing on a 10-minute interval that there does appear to be a little bit of a cup and handle type situation that's formed. Perhaps maybe, actually, I think I need to go to a 30-minute to see it really well. So we got a little bit of a cup and handle kind of pattern going on here, and it should have topped out at about 10:18. We did spike above it briefly yesterday, and then came back down, and we're kind of holding support there. Now the tricky part about this here, and it's gonna get a little bit hairy, is that oftentimes when you have a cup with the handle, you're going to see a retracement in price of about 50%. It could be a little bit less than 50%, but that's what I would expect to see before seeing the big run up. So in this particular case, we would need to see price drop from, let's see here, about 1018 minus the low of 482. We're going to have to see price come down about $2.68. Now, if it doesn't come back down and retrace that, then that's just not the pattern that we're kind of forming right now. But if we do come back down $2.68 from 1018, that's going to put us a combined price of AMC and APE at about $7.50. So be prepared for that. I don't want you guys to think that, oh, all hope is lost. It's just we need to complete that retracement and retest of the 750 amount. Is that 750 is what I said? Yeah, 750. It doesn't necessarily have to go all the way down to 750 before ripping. Sometimes it may only go like 2/3 of the way down, which may end up being right around like 830 as a support point, which would be kind of at this point where we had back here as part of this ascending parallel channel. So I would kind of watch for that. There's a strong likelihood that you will see a little bit of a pushback here. My guess is that we're probably pretty hot on RSI as well, especially with yesterday's movement. So we'll take a look at that and see if some of that makes sense here in a little bit. But in regards to Ortex data, let's take a look at what we got going on here. Short share interest of the free float showing up at 22.54% on AMC. 100% utilization. You see it up here at the very top of the screen. And let's zoom in on this just a tad bit here and take a look at our on loan amount day over day. Give me 1 second here while I erase my board. I gotta write down these numbers because I use them all day long. So give me 1 second. Erase. Erase, erase. All right, nice and clean. Let's take a look at what we got. All right, on loan amount day over day decreasing on AMC. We went from 182.79 to 178.31. It's a pretty big drop there. Let's see. 4. 3.4 million, roughly. 4? 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. 4.4, sorry. 4.4 million. I'm just going to go 4.4 million roughly, having been returned. Short interest is likely closing out in large quantities. We could see it through CHX volume yesterday. So let's see what that translates into. It's going to probably be about a third of that, which is going to be what, maybe like 1.5-ish. I'd say about 1.5 million of that was probably closed short interest day over day. But let's take a look and see what Ortex is estimating. They're saying the short share interest of the free float dropped from 22.83 down to 22.54. So we're looking at 3.29. Wow, I almost nailed it dead on. 1.499. I'm just going to call it 1.5. Ortex is estimating that 1.5 million in short interest was likely closed day over day. That's actually a pretty large position to be closed out. That means that there's going to be a lot of you guys probably, a lot of times people go, where are these new shares available to loan coming from? And it's like, well, they closed out short interest. There's more shares available now. So we're probably going to see a cost to borrow kind of decreasing a little bit. We should see some shares on loan available. On loan average age per day, let's check out and see if these were older positions or newer positions that they were closing. The newer the positions are, the better. But let's just see what we got going on here. On loan average age per day driving upwards, which means that they closed out new positions. You don't want them to close out the old ones because those are the ones that are going to cost them the most money. And since this drove upwards, that it can only lead you to assume that the average age increased when they closed out those 4.4 million, which is deadly, absolutely deadly. We went from 98.59 million average age per day to million. It's 98.59 days to 103.08 days on loan average age. I don't know if that might be like one of the largest numbers we have ever seen. Let me just scroll back here in time and see. Yep, higher than then. Let's see. Oh, well higher than the ones that were available and open prior to the June run up. Prior to the January run up here, let's see, we had 53. Yep. Those are by far the largest. That's the largest on loan amount that we have ever seen. Age per day, ever, since any of us have been invested in this. More than likely. Now there was a higher amount in June 1st of 2020 when it was about 113 days. But since most of us have been invested in this, we are at a new high. It's really high. Security lending volume yesterday increased from 7.25 to 10.63 million shares. Utilization, or on APE, we've got short share interest, the free float at 6.96. That utilization's at 93.75. There is your utilization right there, increasing quite a bit day over day, from 89.32 to 93.75. On loan amount, decreasing. which means somebody's not allowing them to lend as many shares. We went from 42.28 million shares on loan to 41.61. Let's see here. I'm going to go with, it's almost 0.7. I'm just going to call it 0.7. It's close enough. 700,000 shares returned day over day on APE. Short share interest of the free float decreasing as a result, which it should be, from 7 down to 6.96. On loan average age per day dipping further from 23.37 to 22.72. And security lending volume decreased day over day slightly from 9.62 down to 6.79. Orders by Fidelity customers. The amount of orders that are showing on this page here would represent more than likely just the last 4 minutes. Yeah, just the last 4 minutes of positions that were being traded. Showing on the page right now, AMC, APE, and GME are the only three that I'm looking for. GME made the list for the last 4 minutes of positions closed. Their buy-sell ratio is not very good at a 48 to 52% buy-sell. APE, the last 4 minutes of transactions that went through had a 64% buy to 36% sell ratio. And AMC does not appear to have made the list. So most of the shares were traded. Oh nope, I take that back. It is way up here on the list. 55% buy to 45% sell ratio. The numbers that were advertised for AMC and APE throughout the day were much better numbers though. SSR did not trip yesterday for either APE or AMC. Tripping point for the day today on AMC would be $6.12. And on APE, let's do some quick math and find out. APE would trigger at 2.844. Shares available to borrow. There's our shares that were returned from some of the short interest that was closed out. They have about 250,000 shares that showed up earlier this morning. They did borrow 50,000 of those so far, and about 35,000 of the ETFs. I'm not going to count the ETFs just yet. I'll round up on that later today. I'm just going to count the 50,000 shares borrowed so far out of the available. Fees are currently at a 249.4%. 129.7 thousand contracts are out of the money on the calls versus 87.4 thousand contracts that are in the money. 127.4 thousand contracts are out of the money on the puts versus 16.5 thousand contracts that are in the money. Next week already has over 500,000 contracts that are out of the money for next week. Ooh. There's some poo piles out there to be stepped in for sure. Futures on the markets are mixed. Some are down as much as 10.1%. Some are up as much as 0.3%. Mixed open this morning. The VIX is showing down 0.41 in the pre-market futures. International markets overnight, mostly green. Some were a little red. When they were red, they were down somewhere around like 1/4 to 0.5% down. The ones that were up, about the same. So it's kind of a mixed day in the markets internationally. Some up, some down. Ethereum Classic is currently showing up 2.32%. DXY, or the US dollar, is showing up 0.09%, still heading upwards. In the pre-market on the SPY, we are up, or down rather, 0.74 in the pre. Is that even showing? Yeah, I guess it is. Sorry. In the pre-market, it's showing up 0.13, not down. Pre-market for Tesla is up 1.54, Amazon up 0.35, Cinemark is up 0.86, Doge is up 2.25, Bitcoin is up 1.15 at 23K a coin, GME is down 1.84, HYMC is down 2.2, HUD is up 0.66, CS is up 0.28, NCMI is up 0.37, APE is down 0.63, and AMC is up 2.94. Inflow versus outflow yesterday, we had approximately let's see here, 4.7 million, roughly. No, 4.3. I can't math this morning. Today's one of those mornings. I didn't get as much sleep as I normally do. 4.65 million more dollars in inflow than outflow. I didn't get enough sleep last night. I should have gotten way more. Volume so far this morning on AMC is showing at about 166,000 shares traded so far. That is elevated volume compared to what we usually see. However, yesterday when I made my volume predictions based off of PokeStick, I came up with 90 to 110 million, and we ended up only getting, what did we end up getting? Let's check and see. We ended up only getting 62.1 million shares. So it was an elevated share day, which is traded day, which was what I was kind of, compared to what my normal predictions are on volume. You could tell that there was going to be an increase in volume, but nothing like what it should have seen. So it was kind of surprising a little bit. Gonna have to maybe. I'm still gonna continue to predict the way I normally would, and see if something hasn't just changed. Taking a look at APE, well, actually, we'll take a look at APE here in just a second, but taking a look at the 4-hour time interval, on AMC, we have more buying pressure than selling pressure with an RSI of 73.97, which is signaling overbought. On a 1-hour time interval, there's more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 61.55, which is above average. On a 30-minute interval, more buying pressure than selling pressure with an RSI of 60.54, which is above average. And on a 5-minute interval, more buying pressure than selling pressure with a divergence in the vortex indicator currently happening, and RSI at 59.21, which is above average. So we do have some hot signals right now on most of the time intervals for AMC. So we may need to see a little bit of a cooling off period here before seeing some more upwards momentum. Taking a look at APE, yesterday there was approximately 5.5 million more dollars in inflow than outflow. 41,000 shares traded so far. Yesterday, the prediction in volume was 45 to 65 million shares, and we ended up hitting 76.9, which was higher than what the prediction was for the day. So that's kind of interesting as well. One I was extremely high on. The other one I would say extremely low on, because it's almost 10 million more in volume than what the prediction was. I don't mind being low. It's the high that I don't like. You don't want to go into a day thinking that you're going to have 100 million shares in traded volume and only get like just slightly more than half of that. So that's not good. On a 4-hour time interval on APE, there's more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 75.4, which is signaling overbought. On a 1-hour time interval, more buying pressure than selling pressure with an RSI of 53.48, which is just slightly above average. On a 30-minute interval, there's more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 50.24, which is average. And a 5-minute interval, more selling pressure than buying pressure, but they're both downwards right now. Not a whole lot of buying or selling. RSI at 40.85, which is below average. It looks like for the most part, the long term RSI is really hot still, but some of the shorter time periods have RSI cooled off pretty well. Taking a look at Ichimoto on the 1 hour for Ape. Oops. What do we got? Yesterday the price dropped down through the base and then immediately after having done so and heading towards the cloud drove way back up again and now is dropping back through the conversion. I can tell you right now for day traders looking at this, this is scary, scary, scary looking right now. It's so hard to predict where price is moving to. I can almost guarantee you that anybody who's day swing trading this or even playing the options are probably sweating major bullets right now. It is extremely unpredictable in the swings. To give you an example, yesterday I told you guys there was two different outlooks that I was kind of seeing in price, where I felt like we might see a high of somewhere around $7 on AMC and a low of like I think it was like six. Shoot, I'm trying to remember. I already erased the numbers off my board, but it was like it was like it was 568 or something like that. I don't remember what it was. 582. It was low, right? But the crazy part about it is that if you look at the daily candle for yesterday, the high for yesterday was oops, I'm looking at the wrong one. The high for AMC yesterday was 733, and the low was 605, and so it was almost like we did almost both ends of what it was that I was seeing for the day, and it was just like, wait a minute, that's just massively moving. Like, how do you? And the same thing occurred on Ape too. Like it was just this massive swing on both sides, and I was suggesting, I think it was 250. Anywhere from 250 to, and I forgot what the high number was that I had for Ape, but it was just insane to see how far price moved downwards and then back upwards again, and then finally ended up closing out just slightly higher than what we had from the previous day. But I can only imagine that any kind of swing trader on this is just looking at this going like, this is nuts. I don't want to have anything to do with this right now. That's what it looks like, because it's all over the place as it stands. We do have a future green cloud on the 1 hour chart here coming up. Lagging line is above price line, conversion is above base. Most of the actual line indicators are good, but where price is touching down on the conversion is not necessarily all that great looking. In order to see continuing additional buying pressure means we're going to have to end up seeing, we're going to have to get this lagging line up and over 336 at some point between now and tomorrow's market open. So additional buying pressure likely to occur at $3.36 if we retest that top. And on a 4 hour chart for Ape, we got a lagging line above price line, conversions above base. For the most part, this looks very, very healthy. Not a whole lot of problems going on here. No extreme rush to try and get lagging line over any certain specific price. What we want to just continue to see is a support above the base number that we're starting out at this morning, which is going to be $2.78. So I'm going to write down a lower number. We want to stay above 278. Stay above 278, and more buying pressure should kick in after $3.36. On AMC, on a 1 hour time interval, we have lagging line above price line, conversion above base. Hold on 1 second here. I might lose you guys here in just a few minutes due to internet connectivity. If I start to have problems, I'll try and fix it here real fast. But taking a look at the 1 hour time interval, we have conversion is above base, like I said. Lagging line is above price line, which is great. In order for this to continue to stay a buy signal, we're going to need to see above 732 before market open tomorrow. And do note that there's a thinning portion of red cloud or green cloud where price likes to move down through it starting on Wednesday. On a 4-hour chart here, we have lagging line above price line, conversion above base, and we're pretty much hugging this. We're hugging this conversion line, and again, Wednesday night to Thursday morning, we have a green cloud forming is where price usually likes to try and push down through. So if you were to imagine that retracement that I was mentioning earlier in the cup and handle, let's just kind of add the price together here on the 4-hour chart just to see if any of this makes any sense to us whatsoever. I was mentioning 750 to 780 would be the combined price of AMC and APE in order to get that handle. So let me write that down real quick here, 750 to 780. If AMC were to drop below the cloud by the end of this week, we'd be looking at like a 540 range. So let's write that down, 540. And APE would end up being, let's say before the end of the week, it drops back down underneath the cloud. We'd probably be looking at around like, let's just call it even $2, which is going to put us at 740. Which kind of fits that narrative of what it is that I'm talking about on seeing a retracement in price coming up here. So don't panic. It's actually doing quite nicely, and I like what I'm seeing. That would help us to see RSI cool off immensely. Did I not take you guys over this entire screen this entire time? Holy crap, that's insane. My bad. If I didn't take you guys over the other screen here, I really apologize. Anyways, trying to show you this all this time and not really helping you guys out much there. But anyways, that I am seeing cloud that kind of gives the idea that we may see a little bit of pullback on this just a bit. So be ready for it. Don't know that it's going to exactly happen the way that I think it's going to happen, but that's what the indicators are kind of pointing towards, along with the technical analysis on pattern analysis. It kind of looks to me like that might be the case. It looks like we got a little bit of news over here on AMC. Yep, I'm not going to read that one. Let's see here. Get these Bollinger Bands back up. Uh, 736 was a value that I said that we should be heading towards. Oh my gosh, look at that. I think I was just kind of looking at this lavender color over here, and I was going like, why in the world did I have this lavender color? And I remembered that we had an ascending broadening wedge that I had drawn out a while ago, and I don't remember exactly what time frame it was, but I'm pretty certain I deleted it by accident already. So I think, let me just go back out here just a tad bit more and see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I deleted it. But do note that $7.36 would have been the completion of that ascending broadening wedge point that I think that we were supposed to get to. And we touched on 732 before retracing back down as of yesterday. So nailed it to within 4 cents. Not bad. I like it. I'm going to delete all this stuff now, including that line. $7 a.m. pokey stick of volume rolling in here. Let's see what we got going on. 285,000 shares. We actually have more volume today, or dang near the same amount of volume today as we did yesterday. Going into our 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume here with 466,000 shares for AMC. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to adjust my prediction today to be really darn near close the amount that we had yesterday, and then just roll from there, right? So I'm going to say 60 to 80. Like I said, I don't mind being under my volume prediction, but I hate being over, so I'd rather get this one right. So I'm going to go at, normally I would say somewhere between 90 to 110 million shares, but I'm going to go ahead and say 60 to 80 million in volume for the day today on AMC. And on APE, Pokey stick of volume coming in at 61,000 shares, putting us at 108,000 shares. We're seeing much lower volume for the day-to-day on Ape, and to the point to where I probably could not predict anything more than 10 to 30 million shares traded for the day-to-day on Ape. And let's see here. All right, I can see what it is you guys are saying now. Yeah, confidential. That's our 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume. Happens every day on everything, everywhere. Go look at anything else you want to. It's every day. Andrew's birthday today. Andrew's. Oh, son of a gun. I totally forgot to toast to Roseanne's. Roseanne, if you're in here, I'm so sorry. Today I'm gonna do a belated toasting. I've got your name written on the board, and I forgot to look at my board yesterday when I was toasting. Oh my gosh! I just remembered to look down when I was gonna go write Andrew's name, and I saw yours down here. Oh man, I'm just a schmuck. I hope Roseanne's on vacation and she didn't know. Andrew's birthday. Got it written down. No, it was Roseanne. It was Roseanne's. She says no worries. She said it was her anniversary. It was her 40th. Was it 40th or 44th? I think it was 40th. 40th anniversary for Roseanne. I didn't write down the number. I just wrote anniversary down on my board here. But man, I am so sorry about that. You're welcome, Andrew. Well, I'll give you a shout out today at the end of the day when we do a toast to your birthday. But man, I can't believe, Roseanne, that I forgot to look down at my board to see if I had anything to toast to. It was more, I was like in the moment toasting to Island Boys, as if that was an important thing. Stupid Island Boys screwing me up yesterday. Oh man. Well, I'll toast you today. It's a belated happy and you say here we had a wonderful time yesterday, 40th, celebrated with the family. That's awesome. That is really, really cool. I'm glad you had an excellent day yesterday. This is why you never hire me later on in life to do a toast for you. Yeah, I said hire because I won't want to do it willingly. You'll have to throw something at me. I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna need some cash for that. Or some heavy stiff drinking, one of the two. Like you're gonna have to throw some drinks my way or something, but I'm not gonna just toast anything. Olin says, Casey, can you please cover the short exempt volume you posted about on Twitter yesterday? Yeah, it's real simple, and short exempt volume is one of those reported things that they can't get away with just hiding. Those shares absolutely have to come back, and those do turn into failure to delivers. 2 million in a single day is pretty nutty. I don't. I get excited when I see 1 million. So when I saw 2 million, well, it was almost nearly 1 million on AMC, and over 2 million in Ape. That tells me that there's extremely low liquidity and they're having a hard time completing orders. So they're getting behind, and that always ends up being that always turns into buying pressure further down the road. So to me, that's a really good thing. Danny says, Casey, blame Yucca for the Island Boys. Yeah, I should. Roseanne, you can blame Yucca. Nope, didn't watch it last night, Nick. I haven't been on space calls very much lately, and at some point last night, I think it's around 6:30 or 6:40, that the Ape Radio decided to, start up their space call, and I decided to join them last night, and I sat through it all the way through until 9:30 at night, and by that time it was too late to start a movie for me. But um, I hung out with them last night, and actually, I just want to let you guys know, I go there to laugh. I don't go there so that I can absorb new information or anything like that. I go there to laugh. Sometimes I get new information out of watching what it is that they have to offer or listening, and but I more go there to laugh, and because I know it's people who are like-minded, and people who own AMC and Ape, and it's just kind of one of those fun places for me to just be, and so that's what I do. I go and I hang out, and that's what I did last night. I felt like laughing. I wanted to have a good time. Take care, Roseanne. Mike from Sapporo says, so cover 1.5 and exempt to net more. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but oh yeah, I see what you're closed 1 point. Well, was it 1.5? Actually, yeah, 1.5. That's right. From the numbers from Ortex, they closed out 1.5 and then exempted two more. Yep. But that was 1.5 on AMC, not Ape. Ape, they closed out about 700,000 shares in short interest, and then opened up two more. Apex says, feeling bullish today, Casey, going 916 to 1216, calling Ape 333 and AMC 733. 916 to 1216, I got you down. Apex says, those guys are great over on Ape. I mean, Ape Radio really just kind of makes me laugh a lot. I think they're freaking funny as heck, so I enjoy it. And there goes our order book on AMC. Just cleared out completely. And it's back. Somebody turned off the power switch. Quick, plug it back in. I don't remember that Easter Beast. But it's just because I have like really short-term memory. I don't know if that's the case or not, Bird Eye. I'm not sure. Apex says the Hey Gems OMG. Yeah, I've submitted a couple. I cannot lie. I've submitted a couple Hey Gems here and there, just because they're so stinking funny. I love those. Those Hey Gems are the best. Last night, some of the ones like I was learning terminology that I didn't even know. Those were pretty funny. What's with the new ticket price levels? Hope they don't price the common person out of enjoying movie theaters. Um, I don't. I haven't seen them yet. I haven't actually seen what the prices look like, so I'm not. I don't have any room to judge yet until I take a look at what's going on with those numbers. But that wasn't the impression that I got. It didn't sound like that they were going to be pricing people out of particular seats. So, but I don't know. We'll see. I got to wait and see what it looks like first. What forms would a bank file to cover lending? Um, that's a great question. I'm not even sure if I know. But you could probably just check out and see what kind of. You could probably check out the bank's filings and find out what filings they. My guess is that there's probably none. There's probably not a whole lot of, not anything that you can probably easily pull off the internet. But you could always try and check. You could always pull up their SEC filings and federal filings that they have on hand and see. Danny says, "Hey Jim, why don't you throw up in Matt Core's fanny pack and wear it?" Did you submit that one? That's pretty good. I like that. Oh man, some of them get real gross though. It's, I think it's kind of funny to be honest, but I mean, it's not for everybody. Oh, I don't doubt it, Ro. I would not doubt the fact that they're using any chance they can to discredit AMC for choosing to, do ticket prices a certain way. Tammy, do I need to look at it like right now? Is it urgent? Bird Eye, like you just keep on like I mean, it's like I just don't you can't stop with it, and I just don't understand like I'm getting to the point to where it's like I'm gonna have to like remove you. Like please stop. No more with it. Like I can't. I'm done. I'm sorry, but like just because you've been here for a long time doesn't give you the right to, break the rules. You're either gonna have to stop or I'm gonna have to remove you. One of the two. Let's see. Tammy says no, just a screenshot from my local news. Okay, I'll check it out. It's not it's not a kick of butt kind of thing, but it's just like I mean, you know what the rules are and you just keep on violating. It gets to the point to where it's like, I gotta say, I gotta do something about it. It's like I can't just ignore it. Guts for the long term, you're welcome. Same deal for me every day, man. Guts for the long term. So since you're kind of new, I don't really recognize the name a whole lot, but since you're kind of new to the area here, uh, I'm okay with you hitting that down thumb button, right? Like, so if you want to like down vote to get it back to 69, I'm okay with that. Believe it or not, like this is one of the few places where somebody's going to tell you like, go ahead and hit the down button. It's okay. It's really not a problem. I don't. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. I'm not monetized. I don't get anything out of it, so it doesn't matter to me. And it actually drives me to come back for more. The way I view it is the more people that are downvoting me, the more people that I see this as being it's I'm doing the right thing because it tells me that somebody keeps coming back for more because I keep getting more downvotes and it's like I know that anybody out there who doesn't want to hear what it is that I have to say is probably somebody who's against AMC. And so if they're against AMC and they keep coming back for more, it tells me I'm on the right track. So it doesn't bother me one way or bit. Like go for it. Like just hit it. Andrew says the only way I would downvote you is if the number was 421. That's funny, man. I like that. I'm gonna go to break here real soon, guys. I want to go. My wife's coming home here from work. I got like one dish in the sink that I gotta go wash up. I don't want her getting to it, and because she's worked hard all night long, and the last thing I'm gonna do is make her come over home and see some pot in the sink that she's got to clean up here. So I gotta beat her to it. Arthur says I hit the downvote because of Madonna. Hey, but it wasn't Vogue, Arthur. Okay, I didn't play Vogue, and so I listened to what you guys said, but I still wanted to make a Madonna day today. So I felt like I kind of was. I mean, she's kind of. I view Madonna as being a musician who shaped music to some extent. And whether you like her or you don't like her, you can't deny the fact that she shaped music in ways that she changed music in ways that we hadn't seen before. So, and I feel like you have to kind of give homage to everybody, like everybody who helped shape music. You got to give lend credit to them for their work and what they've done to music. And so I felt like since I don't think I've ever played anything of hers before, I felt like I needed to do that. So, Dave, yeah, I've played Gwen before. Gwen's been played. Bon Jovi's been played before. So yeah. Believe it or not, I think I may have UPS. I think I've played a Milli Vanilli song. I'm not 100% certain, but I think way, way back in the day, I'm pretty sure that I played a Milli Vanilli song. Hold on, let me just check and see, because I'm almost positive and I can tell you which one it is. Hold up. Let's see here. Oh, so no. I didn't. I pulled up Milli Vanilli and it does not show that I've played any Milli Vanilli. So oops, sorry about that. So yeah, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe Milli Vanilli might have shaped music for not nearly as much as Madonna did, but you're not wrong though. They did have their point in time there. No, there's really a fanny pack, Nana. Really, truly, and honestly, a fanny pack. Yeah, I know I've done Evanescence. I know I've done that before. Dude, Novocaine, I did play Ace of Base. I have, because it's actually one of my wife's, she likes Ace of Base. So I know I've played it before. Okay, Goonie, I played Duran Duran and I got a content strike for Duran Duran. It's very, very rare because I'm not monetized for me to get content strikes. It usually only happens when there's an artist out there that has some kind of contract that's in dispute in a some kind of law dispute over their music or something like that. But Duran Duran, I think, was one of the ones that I got hit for. which is really kind of strange. I mean, I didn't know that there was any kind of problems with Duran Duran, but I did play it, and the whole day just got wiped out because of it. So I avoid Duran Duran now, but that's a great one though. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and Savvy. Billie Eilish is actually one that I was looking at playing here more recently. I was kind of like looking at some. There was one particular song that I kind of wanted to play that was a one that her brother and her did that was the acapella version. Oh, was it acapella? No, it wasn't because he played the piano in it. It was the non-radio version, the live version of the song, and I almost played the like I think it was last week or something. Duran Duran has loyalty lawsuit crap. Yeah, I mean that's what it seemed like. I've also the other person too is Bird Eye saying someone died who held a state, and I think that's that same thing happened with me with Jimi Hendrix. I think there's somebody, there's some kind of a state lawsuit outgoing, so or ongoing. So if I play Jimi Hendrix, same thing happens with that one as well. Jay, I almost played Like a Virgin this morning, almost, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna play this one instead, just because we're kind of moving a little bit. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and head to break, guys. Like I said, I gotta go wash this pot real quick here before my wife gets home, and I don't want her to have to do it. So I'm gonna head to break, guys. I will see you back here 15 minutes before market open, and we'll get this day started. See you guys in a bit.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbit of Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right, I'm back. So I went through and kind of verified a lot of different numbers here, and I think what I'm going to go for a price prediction for the day today, based off of what I'm kind of seeing right now, I see a little bit of a pullback, perhaps. So I'm going to count for a little bit of that pullback in my price prediction, and I think I'm going to go. Our combined price right now, as it stands, of AMC and APE is currently sitting at $10.08, moving into market open here, and I think I'm going to go $8.17, 8.17. Yeah, I think I'm going to. I'm going to go 8 to 12. Part of me wants to go 8.17 to 12, or 8.17. Part of me wants to go 8.17 to 12.17, but I'm just going to round down just a tad, just to give myself just a tad bit more breathing room, just in case we get a little bit more than a dollar pullback. Let me just check one more thing here. I mean, I guess at $10, a dollar pullback would be a 10% loss across the board on price on AMC and APE together, which would be pretty significant. Yeah, I'm gonna go 8 to 12. Oh wow. It's funny because I had 8.12 to 11.12, and I was gonna go 8.17 to 12.17. Oh, I'm sorry, 11.17. I keep saying 12. 11.17, and so I think 8 to 11 is going to be my price prediction for the day, though. I'm gonna say just a little bit further down on this one. 8 to 11. All right, I got 8 to 11. I've got Apex in for 9.16 to 12.16. I've got Einstein in here 9.05 to 12.05. And we'll see what Eric pulls in with. Looks like I'm kind of deviating away from the rest of the group here in regards to price prediction for the day today. So we'll see what ends up happening. It does give a little bit of opportunity for me to lose out on a point and take me out of the running, but that's what I'm going for. Sticking with it. Yeah, thanks, Ape. Yeah, I don't know why I said 8 to 12. I did. It is 8 to 11. My bad. 8 to 11 is what I'm going for. I'm not giving myself $4. Just can't do math right now this morning. Let's see here. Where are we? Let's see. We got about 6 more minutes until market opens. Food Dog says, been closely watching the Ape order book versus price, and I'm thoroughly convinced it's horse duty. You know what, Food Dog, if you, I would suggest this to anybody. Like anybody who hasn't sat and actually just watched an order book on AMC and Ape, or even GME for that matter, any stock that's I guess probably really heavily shorted. I would just recommend that you go out and just watch it and maybe for like an hour. I know that sounds like a long time, but quite honestly, like some of the some of the aha moments that you'll have from just sitting there and watching it, looking for trends, may kind of change how you view how a market's traded. So I highly would recommend it to almost anybody. Just sit down and watch it for an hour. I know that sounds so painful to do, but if you're studying it and watching it and seeing what's happening, I'm pretty sure that every single person that does it would have an aha moment and come to a realization. Doug, good morning to you. Preacher says, but you merely adopted the beard. I was born in it, molded by it. I am definitely not a beard guy. I can say that for sure, Preacher. It does not belong on this face. You can watch it here if you want to, Junito, unless you can't see it. That's if you can't see. I don't want to advertise like depending on I guess maybe who your broker is and the platform that they have. They may offer it for you to be able to watch, but I don't know who who your broker is and whether or not you have that or not, that ability. But you can usually, you'll probably need level 2 access in order to see it. Is there any ideal time of trading day to watch? I mean, the more active it is, the more fun it is. I'll say that, Billy. But it's easier to see trends when it's moving slower. So I would say maybe like midday, anywhere between 10 and 1. Probably midday would probably give you like the best opportunity for seeing it slower. If you're watching like a high volume security or commodity, either one. But yeah, I would watch. Jathan says, Casey, with the T35 you're talking about with Ape, wouldn't it be wise to vote no, yes for the 3 proposals? Let them be trapped a bit longer. I think it all depends on where price is moving to by the time we get there, Jathan. I'm not gonna be rushing my vote. That's for sure. I can tell you that for certainty. I don't know which way I'm voting yet, but I for sure will not be rushing my vote. I can promise you that. All right, guys, it is time to get this morning started. I'll see you guys on the other side of market open.
T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Rocket booster separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward link now in ascent.
Dan, you sound good.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Copy, a negative return.
She's got herself a universe gone quickly, for the call of thunder threatens everyone. Through
getting cold, you're needing a shoulder. Puff out your chest and be a little bolder. All we do is we buy and hold. There will be shills who wanna steal your thrills. There will be friends who hold till the end. There will be doubt, fear and cloud, but it's all in your head. Those hedges are dead. Panic and fear really are near, but it's not ours to own. We have shown that all we do is buy and hold. Oh, there will be shills who wanna steal your thrills, and there will be friends who hold till the end, and there will be doubt, fear and cloud, but it's all in your head. Those hedges are dead. So when the night's getting colder and you're needing that shoulder, these apes got your back, we got each other. All we do is we buy and hold.
Good morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and APE, where we buy, we hold, and we screw those hedgies. Screw them! That's right. This is where we like to fling some poo and eat crayons for breakfast. Rock strong. Good morning, guys. For those of you who are just waking up this morning, you may just now be finding out that SEV, or short exempt volume, is getting incredibly spicy. Maybe you saw my post last night. I was sitting there on Twitter, and somebody had posted the short exempt volume. You can actually collect that data a little bit before. It's about an hour or maybe an hour and a half after market close. That data gets reported, and you can actually pull it and look it up for yourself. And it was reporting really high numbers. And when I saw it, I instantly, retweeted it and said, if this is true, holy, oh, sorry, I said, holy S word. I was like, that's a lot. So we had like nearly 1 million shares in short exempt volume for AMC, and that's usually the target number for me. That kind of tells me that we're going to start moving in the right direction to where we're going to see large amounts of pressure on the marketplace to find shares to be purchased. And so that's kind of one of the important numbers that I really kind of I monitor on a daily basis because it is so important. And the other number was apes. Didn't have 1 million. Didn't have 2 million. They had 2.1 million in short exempt volume alone. There is no kicking the can down the road on short exempt volume. It's something that they actually have to go out and find shares for. So it does turn into or turns into a massive buying pressure in the marketplace and supplies that pressure we need on price improvement. So it's getting kind of spicy out there, and I can see the pain. I can see the pain forming already. Somebody said earlier, wouldn't it be wise to vote a no, yes? And I would say, just because I don't, I really don't know what's going to happen to price between now and the vote, so I haven't decided yet. I really don't think that it's wise to be running to conclusions on what I should be voting for when I don't know what the outcome of what's been happening since December 22nd, when the proposals were initially proposed to us, and so I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be watching them and I'll make a decision kind of based off of something about that. So what do we got going on besides that? There's been a lot of kind of negative news in regards to some of the seating chart and the amounts that has to be paid now for different seating. I just want to remind you guys that I don't think that's rolled out to all movie theaters. I think they're kind of testing it out right now. If it doesn't fly or it doesn't go over very well for AMC. I'm sure they'll probably either reverse the decision or keep it going depending on the trial. Yeah, it is definitely something new that's happening. Also, I was asked earlier a question by Chris. Let me go back up here and really quickly and see, because I can't remember what. I have such short-term memory, I can't even remember. Let's see here. Oh, Max Payne, yeah, yeah. Chris is saying, what is the prediction for the Friday price? If you've been watching this for a long time, Chris, ever since November of 2021, uh, long institutions have been controlling price. And the reason that I say that is because if you watch the money flow, then you can really kind of determine, who's in control of where price is moving to. And a lot of long institutions are taking up um, this. I guess the way I should put this is that they're probably collecting a lot of money through the derivatives. So a lot of people are putting money into options and they're collecting the premiums on those options. And the way that they collect the premiums is they take the bets that are being made on the calls and the puts, and then they get price to close as close to the middle as possible, the middle ground on which is called max pain, where the most amount of options will fail out of the money. And so in regards to like, you know, if you look back since November of 2021, if you look at the amount of weeks that we've had where we've closed price within 50 cents of either side of that max pain, it is hit time and time and time and again. Very rarely do we stray above or below that max pain. So if you want to know what Friday's price is going to look like, more than likely whatever max pain is going to be really close, plus or minus a buck. I would say plus or minus a buck of that, and you can kind of almost predict what the Friday's price is going to be, unless there's huge amounts of buying pressure that's going to be forced upon the market to drive price upwards. At which point, then you might start to see a little bit of deviation away from that, and it's only because there's going to be forced buying by institutions, not by retail. And so that's kind of a little bit what we're seeing right now. As Nikki's saying down here, AMC's implied volatility is 250.6. That's 111.5% above its 20-day HV 118.5. The 52-week average is 138.25. So there's a lot of volatility that's currently happening. A lot of changing of hands as well. So there's a little bit of a possibility of a sort of a gamma ramp potential here, but I would still kind of lean towards saying that Max Payne is probably going to rule out the week. Now, if you don't have a link to that, if you want to have a link, I guess I can provide that here for you. This is the website that I use for pulling Max Payne. It's probably one of the ones I trust more than any of the other ones that I've seen that are out there. So that's where I go. If you guys have other places that you want to go to find Max Payne, that's fine too. But I prefer that one simply because I think some of the charting is really why I tend to lean more towards that one. I like aesthetically, I do like the charts on that one, which I don't feel like you get as much on other sites. So. But yeah, I mean, it's a great way of taking a look at the call and put ratios that are out there. So yeah, but $6 is what it is right now. So take it for what it's worth. There you go, Hillbillies putting up chart exchange. Yeah, everybody's got their own favorite one. Whatever works for you, right? I don't have any problem with however you get your numbers, as long as they help you to see correctly what max pain is, then follow it. Yeah, I mean, there's no Hillbilly saying I use your link too. I would say having multiple sources for collecting the same data to verify that it's actually correct is not a bad thing to do. In fact, I always encourage that whenever I see, sometimes we'll see like some kind of weird candlestick pop up on, for example, AMC, and I'll be like, hey guys, let's go over and check another platform See if another broker. So let's see if TradingView's showing that. Let's see if TD Ameritrade is showing that. Let's look at all these different platforms and see if we're seeing the same thing or if it's a data error reporting thing. In the industry that I've worked in, it's always about cross comparing your data. Anytime you have some kind of qualification that fails, you want to make sure that it's not your qual, right? you might have something wrong with your qual that's causing the failure. So you rerun the qual just to make sure that you end up having the same results. You don't want to make changes based off of erroneous data. So it's always something to kind of it's a good cross comparison to use. I'm using like all kinds of. I'm really bad with words. I wish I was better at words. I would say, as Salty Dog would remind me to say. But yeah, so I'm kind of predicting a little bit of a pullback here, and I think that part of the reason we're going to see this pullback, multi reasons, right? Let me show you all the different indicators that I'm looking at here that kind of tell me why I think we're going to see this pullback. If you take a look at Ethereum Classic, it has like been spot on in regards to showing us where price on AMC and APE, or AMC rather, is going to be moving to. I've got AMC in the red and green, and then the orange is Ethereum Classic here. And if I show you, like, this is on a 1-day chart here. If I show you this, this is going back to all the way back to January even. You can see that the Ethereum Classic always kind of gave an advanced prediction, sometimes sooner than later, sometimes almost right dang near before AMC started moving. But you can see that it's very, very, very tied together. It's strikingly tied together. And so if you want a good idea as to perhaps maybe where it is that we're going to be heading to, taking a look at Ethereum Classic might be a good idea to kind of get an idea or representation, an advanced representation as to where we're heading to. As you can see right here, Ethereum Classic kind of signaled to us. Let's see here. I'm going to kind of enlarge this a little bit so that we can kind of see it a little bit better here. You can see that it was about 3, 4, 5, maybe about 6 days in advance that we were going to see a run up here. And so Ethereum Classic is about 6 days ahead of time right now. If you look at where we're at currently, you can draw back 6 days from where this is right here. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, right around here. You can see that there's a little bit of a pullback here before seeing some more price improvement. So I'm expecting to see that little bit of pullback in where we're at in price. Now, it's not going to fall exactly. So this isn't the only indicator that I'm looking at right here. I'm going to obviously use many, many different tools as I possibly can in my tool bag to try and figure out where price is going to be moving to. So, okay, I look at here's Ethereum Classic saying potential pullback here in the current time frame. So what does it look like in the marketplace? Okay, well, we can use DXY, which is the US dollar. It is broken out of this very, very, very long descending wedge here, and it's still heading up. When the US dollar is heading up, the market's heading down. Okay, well, what's the SPY doing? Is the SPY is the SPY in agreement with that? And it's not really. Like, I mean, it did print a TD9, which usually means that price is going to head back down towards the simple moving average, which is down around 394. Of course, this is going to continue to move up as price is falling down in the SPY. They might meet up somewhere in the middle, somewhere around like 400 range. But it did print a TD9 on a daily chart here. So I would be expecting to see some kind of pullback to the 400 range. What's the next thing that I'm looking at? The next thing on this is the VIX. The VIX is up this morning, and on the daily chart on the VIX, guess what? We've got a pretty long downtrend here that started at about the beginning of January. So we're a little about a month over in descending wedge here, and we're starting to break up out of the descending wedge. If this continues to break hard this direction, that means the market's going to be heading down. So all of these things combined together kind of give me an indication or a clearer idea as to where we might be moving in price. And so when I can account for what is happening in the marketplace and how we're tied to the market, it gives me a better indication as to where price may be moving for the day. Now, The one last thing that I'm going to throw in here that I think is kind of cool um, is this pullback off of $10.15 on this decent 30-minute cup. I wouldn't call this a beautiful cup. I've seen way better formed cups than this, but this cup started back in December 1st and is completed now on the back side of this and completed quite nicely with a retracement right off that top right there and pulling back. And the question is how far back does price have to go or pull back off this to create the handle of a cup and handle formation? And according to the numbers that you would normally see to get this pattern analysis, price would have to pull back to the somewhere between 750 and 780 range. And remember, this is combined on AMC and APE right here. So you would have to see a combined price of AMC and APE pull back to the 750, 780 range before completing the other portion of the cup, which is the takeoff. So I am expecting to see a little bit of a pullback here, and I don't know how long it's going to last for, or if it'll even make it down to the prices that I'm suggesting. Time will tell. But it does kind of look a little bit like a cup. We did have an ascending parallel channel that we broke up out of, which is very, very like 90. I want to say like 95% of the time you usually see ascending parallel channels break. You don't see price breaking out of these channels unless it results in something like a cup and handle. But typically speaking, you see parallel channels being broken in smaller quantities, and it's like usually like 2 or 3 of them in increasing angle. So in this particular case, it's a little bit different than usual. So I'm not sure if we're going to fully get the same pullback that we would normally see. We may only test like 879, the secondary red line that I've got back down here before seeing a takeoff. It may not necessarily be as far as I would have suggested, but as of right now, the combined price of AMC and APE is sitting at 952 for those of you who are wondering. We are testing a level of support that we have now at 952 and at 950 rather. So actually, is this 950? What is this? Actually, I don't know what this value is. Is it 950? Oh, it is 950. Yeah, 950. I have 878 and 950 as 2 levels of support and resistance, and we're right at 950. So if it falls below 950, we may see a little bit more continued drop and looking for support at around 878. So it's all these things. These are all indicators that you have to be looking at on a daily basis. You can't just look at just one specific security and say this is where we're moving to because because whatever. You have to look at the whole market. The whole market really is what makes up everything here. And I believe that the market's actually being driven backwards through ETFs. And normally it's the other way around. The individual stocks or securities would be driving the ETFs. But at this point in time, it really kind of looks like it's driving backwards, where the ETFs are driving the market. So if I'm right about that, then truly what you'll end up seeing happening is market-wide moves. So you got to take that into consideration. Let me see. Let me check it out, Bird Eye. If you're talking, I think you're probably talking about our 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume, which I'm seeing on AMC. The bottom on it was 668 on AMC, and then let me check it for Ape real quick. Ape's candlestick wick down for the 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume was 311. I've had many people suggest in the past that that's kind of like the range that the price is going to be trading in before, but I've seen that theory blown out of the water so many times it's not even funny. In fact, we've already blown it out of the water so far this morning twice. So I don't buy into that one bit. I don't think that that's an indication. I've seen that broken way too many times for it to not be some kind of indication of where price is moving to. Point Break Thor says it's funny that the SEC does no analysis of the situation like GME, where it drops over 9% at open with no bad news. Yeah, it's that is just normal market supply and demand. Nothing to see here. Who said this market trades on supply and demand? What are we talking about here? There was one earlier. Hold on a second here. Let me check and see. I've got nothing for AMC that's lower than the 7 a.m. pokey stick for AMC. Let me check Ape real quick here and see on that one. I got nothing on Ape either. The lowest pokey stick candle wick that would have been there would have been the 7 a.m. So if you're seeing it on your platform, whatever it is that you're looking at, I would say it's probably an erroneous data point that probably occurred because I'm not seeing it here. So the problem with the idea of so what you just said right there, Bird Eye, is actually counter intuitive of what it is that you're saying. You're saying spoofing candlestick wicks. Uh, in order for you to get a movement in price, that wouldn't be spoofing, right? Spoofing is where they take the order out before the order transacts. And then so it's basically like a phantom order that just kind of it shows support or resistance and then just disappears. We actually did have that earlier this morning. I don't know if you guys were watching. Right just before market open, there was like 100,000 share order that went in on the bid side to protect price at about 665, I think it was. And then it just disappeared as soon as it hit the top of the order book. That's spoofing. If you're getting an actual wick or a candlestick off of an actual order, that is not spoofing. That's an actual order that's going through. So you can't possibly have spoofing and talk about candlesticks in the same sentence because they don't mix. Spoofing entails an order that never is completed. Short exempt volume is SEV. Do I have that on the 1 minute? I do have that on the 1 minute. Okay. So you guys are saying that Powell's speaking today. Let me pull it up here real quick and see. Let me just check their meeting schedule real quick here and see what they got going on. See what they got here. See calendar. Today's the 7th. We have discussion at 12:40, which is going to be 11:40. Conversation with David Rubenstein, chairman of the Economic Club of Washington, D.C., at the discussion with Chair Jerome H. Powell at the Economic Club of Washington, D.C. So we have them talking at 11:40 my time or 12:40 Eastern Standard. We can watch that if you guys want to see that. I don't know what's going to be talked about exactly. More or less, it'll probably end up being, if I had to guess, there's going to be talk about probably the current trends in the market would be my guess, and then they probably will advertise something as well along the way, I would imagine. Nope. True spoofing, Kevin, would never ever show up in order books. It's not part of spoofing is where the order shows up on the order book. Sorry, I said order books. It will never show up on time and sales. So a true spoof is where it shows up on the order book, but then when it gets to the level of where it would be transacted and it would go through as a time and sale, it disappears. That's spoofing. When you see those orders disappearing like that without the time and sales going through to indicate that the orders were completed, that's your definition of spoofing. Yeah, it's just canceled. It's canceled before it can be transacted. Numbers. Roaster Guy says numbers. Let's get through the numbers. Before I do, I'm going to put up a poll real quick to see if you guys want to listen to Powell. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I'll just ask the community. All right, so there you go. I'll just put it up there, and you guys can decide whether or not we listen to Powell. But let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers since it is numbers time. Let me take you guys over to the other page here. Somebody was asking me the other day about how would you know if Adam Aaron sold more shares in the marketplace. I was telling you guys if you saw the order book showing huge amounts of shares that just kind of or orders that popped up on the order book with huge amounts of shares that are in the orders, that could be a clear sign of that. As of right now, and you can look at Ape right now, there's actually a fairly large amount, 125,000 shares at the current bid of $3.06, and it's taking hits. You can see the fluctuation in the amount of shares that are going through there. That's not spoofing. Those are actual orders going through. There's a 23,000 share order below that at 305, and then at $3 is a 42,000, and then there's another 25,000 share order at $2.93. That that could sort of be an indication of some potential shares that are in the marketplace that are actually protecting price from dropping. It looks to me like somebody's protecting their investment. If you had to guess, I'll bet like at least half of you guys could probably guess who that might be. There's at least half of you out there that probably could name off one institution that would be protecting their investment right now. Anybody? No, nobody? Nobody's gonna put out a guess? Come on, come on. I need to see a guess, at least one guess, before I go over doing the numbers. No, it's not Citadel. Citadel's not protecting price on Ape. Sorry, Don. Don, I'm sorry, but Citadel does not want to protect price on Ape. And Terra is correct for Foo Dog. That is the right answer, Foo Dog. I'm going to go ahead and give you a point for the day today. I like the answer. And Terra is the correct answer. Remember, Adam Aaron hired a bodyguard, a hitman called Antera, and that is the correct answer. They are protecting their position. So let's go ahead and take a look at our numbers here. I'm going to take you guys over the other page. Remember, I won't be able to see what it is that you guys are saying, so hold those thoughts for just a little bit until you see the big tramp back on the page. Hold those thoughts specifically for me, anyways. Two-factor authentication, if you don't have it, you may want to consider getting it, as it could protect you from having somebody break into your account and messing you up. No sense in having that as a risk. When you do set up two-factor authentication, make sure that you have a secondary device that can receive the code in case something happens to your primary. And then also, I'm kind of requesting or asking people to start taking pictures of their portfolio at least once a day, or once a day, taking pictures of their portfolio, saving the file as the date that you took it, in case something happens with your broker and you need to have proof of ownership. You can always have that and save that for yourself. Might save you a headache down the road. If you have an inactive account where you're not making a whole lot of trades and there's not a whole lot of changes occurring to your portfolio, you could probably skate by with a picture once a week, maybe on the weekends or something. But yeah, just not a bad safety precaution to kind of take up. Let's take a look at our numbers. Starting with price prediction tallies is not meant to be anything else other than 4 apes that are trying to predict price as close as we can within the $3 range. Einstein, Eric, Apex, and myself all got points for yesterday's price predictions. I think I was off by about 34 cents on my average. Today, hold up here. Let's see what we got going on. Today's price predictions, we've got I'm 8 to 11, Eric's 819 to 1119, Apex is 916 to 1216, and Einstein is 905 to 1205. There is a little bit of a range between some of us here, so there might be some guys not getting some points today, but we'll see. We'll see how the day ends out. Maybe they get points, maybe they don't. We'll see. Maybe we all don't get points. That's happened before. And I do have a missed column over there, although it's been a long time since we've seen that missed column grab some points. So we'll see what ends up happening. But taking a look at that short exempt volume, as I was talking about earlier this morning, AMC had 925,000 shares in short exempt volume yesterday. That's massive. I get really super excited anytime I see more than 1 million shares. And I know that 3 million is the target. But I really believe, and based off of some of the past historical movements that we've seen, 1 million is more than enough. But guess what? Ape didn't just hit one, not just one, but two. That's right. You can get two. 2.173 million shares in short exempt volume for Ape. That was extremely awesome to see. I did not change yesterday's price movement. Son of a biscuit. How did I forget to change that? Give me 1 second because I don't want that data to be wrong. I just noticed that I didn't put those in correctly. Give me a second while I update those. What did we? So we were up 11.84 on AMC. And on Ape, man, I don't know how I missed that this morning. On Ape, we were up, let's see here. $4.98. Because AMC and Ape's short exempt volume was dang near 1 million on AMC and Ape was over 2 million, I went ahead and called that day 1 of 3. If we make over 1 million shares today in short exempt volume, I'll probably call it 2 of 3. And we're getting so close to hitting 95% utilization on Ape. It's 93.75, and we're still at 100% on AMC. If we trigger SSR for the day today, guys, I just want to throw this out there that the chances of seeing short exempt volume like massively through the roof is very, very high. So I almost embrace the idea that we would see short exempt volume triggered for the day today. I know you guys probably don't like watching price drop by 10% in a single day, but it really does help us out. I know it doesn't sound like it does. In the futures, it helps us out in the amount of shares that are forced to be purchased at the market. And so, if you understand what the results are and why that happens and the way that it works, then it makes sense to you. But if you don't understand that that's actually really damaging, then to a shorting position, then you just don't know. But it's very helpful to see that short exempt volume very high. Taking a look at what's next. Max pain for the day today is $6. No change from yesterday. Off exchange by this time of the day, I would expect about 44% to be going through off exchange and somewhere around 10 to 11% through EDGX. On off exchange right now, we have 50.14 and EDGX is at 16.54. The grand total between the two is 66.68%. That is approximately 12.68% higher than it should be by this time of the day. CHX volume not very high on AMC so far. On APE, off exchange is at 44.48, which is actually right on target for where it should be, and EDGX is at 9.29, which is really close to where it should be. The grand total on that's 53.77%. That's dang near spot on for where it should be by this time of the morning. CHX volume is very normal. Not a whole lot of price discovery being hidden on APE. On GME, CHX volume is pretty normal, and HYMC CHX volume is normal. Taking a look at the options, highest amount of volume so far this morning is sitting at a $7 strike for calls. As of an hour ago, there was approximately, or I mean, as of right now, there's approximately 10,000 contracts. That's where it was yesterday, by the way. The closing amount of calls were at a $10 or $7 strike. There's 10,000 contracts this morning at $7 right now, even with price moving away from 7. On puts, highest amount of puts is at a $6 strike. That's up $1 from where it was yesterday. So far for the day today, there's 2.5 thousand contracts. Looking a lot more call volume. I mean, 4 times the amount of call volume right now than there is put volume. Yeah, it's interesting numbers this morning. A lot of poo steppers. A lot of poop stepping in right now. Retail's going to be retail. There's nothing I can do to stop that. It's your hard-earned money. Protect it. Don't make bad decisions. Let's see here. Taking a look at, well, I'm going to move some screens around and we'll take a look at the rest of the data. Alrighty, as you can well see here, combined price of AMC and APE is at $9.33. We did bounce off the 1018 pretty hard, as I was expecting we might do. How far price comes down here is really going to be dependent upon some of our support levels that we've seen from the past. Some of the stronger ones that we have is around 878 combined. Another one is around $8.37. To get a proper cup and handle out of this, we would need to see price to fall somewhere between 750 to 780 combined price. I'm not suggesting we're actually going to make it there, as we might find support somewhere between that 837 and 878 range first. But just kind of watch for it. It's a very strong possibility with the pattern that we just kind of completed here. Taking a look at Ortex. So far this morning, Ortex is showing that there's been about 18,000 shares having been borrowed. That's very, I mean, it's nothing to really even bat an eyelid at. That's going to really have any effect on our short share interest of the free float, which is being reported at 22.55%. Cost to borrow min is at 85.22, average at 330.07, and max at 358.94. As I suggested to you guys not too long ago, when they do close out short interest, which they actually did yesterday, you're going to tend to see these things like cost of borrow going down and available shares going up. Utilization still showing out at 100% utilization. Day number 8 or 19 straight trading days of 100% utilization. As we zoom in on this a little bit here, on loan amount coming down day over day by 4.4 million shares. And Ortex is estimating that about 1.5 million of that was in short interest that was closed day over day, as represented by their estimates in short share interest, the free float dropping from 22.83 down to 22.54. On loan average age per day, guys, this is a really big number to note here. When you have 4.4 million shares returned and 1.5 million of that was in short interest, you really want that to be brand new stuff that they're closing out and not really old positions. And guess what? it was old or really brand new positions that were closed out because the on loan average age per day skyrocketed with 4.4 million shares returned, skyrocketed from 98.59% to 103.8. I said percent. 98.59 days on average loan to 103.08. Now, what I want you to realize about that is that since most of us, I'm not going to suggest all of us, but most of us have been invested since January of 2021, maybe some people a little bit before. But if you've been invested since January 2021, on loan average age per day is at the highest number that you've ever seen. This is literally the highest number you have ever seen for on loan average age per day. That is extremely important to know that that is screwing people who are short and lending shares badly. Really, really, really. They're taking a good old fashioned screwing right now here. This is a missionary position. They're taking a good old missionary. Taking a look at short exempt or security lending volume data day over day. It went from 7.25 million shares to 10.63 million shares. Taking a look at APE, so far this morning we've had about 4.01 million shares borrowed. Where did we see for something million shares returned? Was that 2 days ago? I wonder. Somebody's borrowing shares again. So we got 4.01 million shares borrowed so far. That's going to increase our estimated short share interest of the free float to 7.2%. Cost to borrow min is at 7.6, average is at 9.8, and max is at 10.18. What you got to realize right now, guys, is this. You can actually use the numbers that are supplied on Ortex to understand what utilization is going to be based off of our current reported numbers. My guess is that if you have 93.75% utilization with 41.61 million shares on loan, 4 million more shares in borrowed shares is going to put that utilization dang near 100%, if not 100%. So we'll see what those numbers turn out to tomorrow. And I mean, the day's not over yet. They might return some of these shares. So we'll see what ends up happening. Utilization, though, did drive up day over day on APE rather, from 89.32 to 93.75. The interesting thing about that to note is that institutions actually reduced the amount of shares that were available to loan because the on loan amount actually dipped by 700,000 shares. So utilization went up, but shares were returned, which means somebody's not allowing shares to be loaned out as many as they were before previous. Taking a look at the short share interest of the free float is dipping due to the fact that those 700,000 shares were returned. And it dipped from 7 down to 6.96. And then we've got, let's see, where did it go? On loan average age per day, dipping some more from 23.37 down to 22.72. And then we've got our security lending volume day over day dropping from 9.62 down to 6.79. Orders by Fidelity customers. I'm only looking for AMC APE and GME in this particular case. AMC is the first one on the list here with a 63% buy to 37% sell ratio. Looking good on the buy sell. GME is the next one on the list. That's good to see it back up here. They have a 63% buy to 37% sell ratio. Looking very good. APE is on the list here with a 68% buy to 32% sell ratio. So looking great on all three cases. I like what it is that I'm seeing right there. It's good to know that retail is buying up. Trigger price for SSR for the day-to-day would be at $6.12. Has not triggered yet. APE would trigger at $2.844. Shares available to borrow originally this morning, we were at about 250,000 shares. They did borrow 50,000, then another 50,000, and then another 50,000. So far for the day today, we've seen about 150,000 shares borrowed, plus about 35,000 shares, 36,000 shares out of the ETFs. But I'm not gonna round up on those yet. I need 50,000 at a time chunks. So we're only looking at 150,000 shares borrowed so far for the day today. That's about how much was borrowed yesterday. Current fees are at 205.7%. Those fees will drop as there's more shares that are available to borrow. Out of the money calls, we have 229.2 thousand contracts that are out of the money. 33.3 thousand contracts are in the money. We've got a lot of people learning some lessons this week about taking profit on your options. As that's, oh, wait a minute. This is reporting for this is next week. Okay, hold up. I just realized I was like sitting here looking at this going like, that's not right. Something's not right about this. These numbers are too big. Yeah, okay, this is they're not reporting the current option data for today for this week on Stonko Tracker, and I'm not sure why, but they're only reporting next week's data. So I'm not gonna read that off to you guys because that's not current. I still think that there's people who are probably learning a lesson though this week about taking profit on options when you've got price up. Let's see what we got going on over here. We have NASDAQ is down 0.02, Dow Jones is down 0.35, SP 500 is down 0.22. We have 4,119 decliners to 2,242 advancers. The market is more declining than advancing. Ethereum Classic is up 1.31%. DXY, or the US dollar, is up 0.32. WTI, or oil, is currently showing up 0.87. Mortgage-backed securities are down anywhere from 0.05 to 0.01. And the SPY is currently showing down 0.19%. VIX is up 1.7, VTI is down 0.27, VB is down 0.66, Tesla is down 0.76, Amazon down 2.76, Cinemark is up 0.24, Doge is up 1.31, Bitcoin is up 0.89 at 22.9K a coin. GME is down 11.19 as tripped SSR, HYMC is down 3.17, HOOD is down 2.78, CS is down 0.14, NCMI is down 0.56, APE is down 5.06, and AMC is down 7.94. I did not put my SSR